Level 1. The Street Associate. You are 13 years old. You grow up in Brooklyn. Your mother works 2 jobs. She leaves before you wake up. She gets home after you're asleep. You learn early that the neighborhood runs on a different clock than the rest of the city. There are men on the corner who never seem to work. They drive nice cars. They eat well. They know everyone's name. You start noticing them around the time you stop believing in anything the school has to offer. One of them notices you back. He asks if you want to make $20 running a package 4 blocks north. You say yes. You don't ask what's in the package. That's the first lesson. You don't ask. You just move. You're fast and you're quiet and nobody looks twice at a kid on a bicycle. You do it again the next day, and the day after that. By 15, you're a regular. You run errands. You hold money. You stand outside a social club and watch for police cars. You learn which cops are on the payroll and which ones aren't. You learn the difference between a civilian argument and a business dispute. You learn to read a room in seconds. Your mother thinks you're working at the bodega on Flatbush. You are not working at the bodega on Flatbush. The men you work for are connected to the Gambino family. You don't fully understand what that means yet. You understand that when they speak, people listen. You understand that respect here has a price. You start paying it. By 17, you're deeper in. You collect small debts for a guy named Tommy who runs numbers out of a garage on 4th Avenue. You knock on doors. You remind people they owe money. You don't threaten anyone. Not yet. You don't need to. The implication is enough. Tommy watches how you handle it. You never lose your temper. You never make a scene. You give the money back clean every time. Tommy starts trusting you with larger amounts. You're not earning much. 50 here, 100 there. But you're building something more valuable than money. You're building a reputation. In this world, your reputation is the only currency that compounds. Level 2, the soldier. You are 25 years old. You've been around long enough to understand how this works. You've done enough to prove it. Someone above you vouches for your name. There's a ceremony. It's brief. There's a room and a table and men you've seen your whole life. Your finger bleeds on a saint's card. You swear an oath. You are now a made member of the Gambino family. Nobody outside this room will ever know about this night. But everyone inside this world will know what it means. You are protected. You are also obligated. Every dollar you earn, a piece goes up. That is the structure. That has always been the structure. You run a loan operation out of a bar near the waterfront. You lend money at rates no bank would touch. You collect weekly. When someone misses, you visit them personally. You don't enjoy the visits, but you don't hesitate either. Hesitation is weakness. Weakness gets noticed. You also work a hijacking crew on the side. Trucks coming out of JFK, electronics and cigarettes mostly. You find buyers. You move product. You keep your mouth shut and your books clean. Your capo is a man named Carmine. He's 60 years old, and he hasn't raised his voice in a decade. You understand why. The quieter a man is in this life, the more dangerous he is. You study Carmine the way you once studied the corners. Every decision he makes is a lesson. You're earning real money now. Not hedge fund money, but more than your mother made in a year, coming in every month. You buy her a new apartment. You tell her you're in construction management. She doesn't ask follow-up questions. She doesn't want to know. You understand that too. Level 3. The capo. You are 30 years old. Carmine gets indicted on a RICO charge. He takes a plea. 15 years. Before he goes, he puts your name forward. The underboss approves it. You are now a capo regime. You have a crew. 8 soldiers, and a rotating cast of associates doing work underneath them. You are responsible for all of it. Every dollar they earn, you take a percentage. Every problem they create, you solve. Every beef they start, you finish. Managing people is different from doing the work yourself. When you were a soldier, the only person you had to control was yourself. Now you have 8 men with 8 different problems. 8 sets of gambling debts, and grudges and bad judgment. One of your guys gets drunk and assaults a civilian in a restaurant. You fix it before morning. You pay the man. You sit your soldier down and you explain, very calmly, that his behavior cost you money. He won't do it again. Another one of your guys is skimming. Small amounts. Thinks you won't notice. You notice everything. You sit him down differently. That problem also gets resolved. You kick earnings up to the underboss every month without fail. The amount is fixed. Whether your crew had a good month or a bad month doesn't change the number you send upstairs. That's your problem to solve, not theirs. You expand into garbage hauling contracts in South Brooklyn. You have a piece of a restaurant supply company in Bensonhurst. You're building legitimate fronts because you've watched enough men go down to understand that the business needs cover. You are running an operation now, a real one. It has moving parts and overhead, and personnel issues. Nobody taught you any of this. You learned it by watching men above you and surviving men below you. Level 4, the Consigliere. You are 40 years old. You've stayed out of jail. That alone separates you from half the men you came up with. Your record is clean on paper. You've been careful your entire career. The boss notices the careful ones. You're brought in as Consigliere, advisor to the leadership. You don't run a crew anymore. You don't collect money. You think. You analyze. You sit in rooms with the boss and the underboss and you tell them what you see. A dispute breaks out between two capos over territory in Staten Island. Both men are angry. Both men are right. You study the situation for 3 days. You talk to people on both sides separately. You trace the original agreement back 15 years. You find the line. You present a resolution that neither capo loves but both can live with. The boss implements it. The dispute ends. Nobody gets hurt. That is a successful outcome. You become the person who prevents wars before they start. You know where everybody is buried, figuratively speaking. Mostly figuratively. You know which captains are loyal and which ones are positioning. You know which federal investigations are active and which witnesses are cooperating. You maintain relationships with lawyers and judges and city officials who have accepted the family's generosity over the years. Information is your entire job now. You collect it the way you once collected debts. Systematically, patiently, without emotion. Level 5. The Underboss. You are 50 years old. The boss calls you in one morning. He tells you that you're moving up. Underboss. Second in command of the entire family. The weight of that lands differently than you expected. You've wanted this your entire adult life. Now that it's real, you understand what it costs. You are now a buffer between the street and the top. Every significant decision in the family flows through you first. A captain wants to expand into New Jersey. He comes to you. A soldier wants to open a new gambling operation in Howard Beach. He comes to you. A problem with a rival family's crew crossing into family territory. You handle it before the boss hears about it if possible. You manage 15 captains who each manage their own crews. You are running the day-to-day operations of an organization that stretches across 3 boroughs. You meet with your captains one at a time. Never in groups. You monitor earnings. You track problems. You watch for informants the way a doctor watches for infection. One compromised soldier can bring down an entire crew. One flipped captain can end careers that span decades. You've already pushed out 2 captains this year on suspicion alone. The boss trusts your instincts. You trust your instincts because they've kept you alive and free for 37 years. You don't sleep easily. But you never did. Level 6. The Boss. You are 60 years old. The old boss retires quietly to a house in Florida. The family's leadership meets. Your name is the only name on the table. You become the boss of the Gambino family. The kid from Brooklyn who ran packages at 13 years old now runs the entire organization. There is no ceremony this time. There is a handshake and an understanding. The structure doesn't change. Earnings still flow upward. Problems still get solved before they become headlines. Loyalty still gets rewarded. And betrayal still gets handled. But now every significant decision in the family is yours alone. You approve new members. You settle disputes between capos that the underboss can't resolve. You authorize anything significant. You take a cut from every operation running under the family's name across the city. It arrives without your having to ask. The men below you have learned the same things you learned. They send it up because that is what you do. You meet with the bosses of the other New York families twice a year. You sit at a table and you negotiate territory and business arrangements like executives at a board meeting. You are careful never to put anything in writing. You are careful never to speak directly about anything that matters on a phone. You have lawyers on retainer who are very expensive and very good at their jobs. You think about your mother sometimes. She passed 6 years ago. She never knew exactly what you were. Or maybe she did and said nothing. You sit in a restaurant in Carroll Gardens on a Tuesday afternoon. You order the same thing you always order. The owner comes to your table and pours your wine himself. Nobody bothers you. Nobody looks at you too long. You are 60 years old and you run one of the most powerful criminal organizations in the country, and nobody in this room would ever guess it from looking at you. That is exactly how you built it.